All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, the sports betting show, Thursday, November 10th, 2022. I got a decent slate of games today. Got some NFL Thursday night football. Got a few basketball games in the NBA and some college basketball going on as well. Why do I have there? It is on paper. But no, got quite a bit going on. Joined by my dad, Tony Gonzalez, like always. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. I'm getting ready to here at about 7 o'clock. I think I'm gonna sit down and watch Vegas tonight. They're on an 8-game win streak. They're 12-2, best hockey team in the league right now. I've got them in a parlay that I'll discuss later, but I think I'm gonna watch them tonight. They're on at 7.
So they've been on a good streak here. Like.
Eight-game winning streak. They're top of the league scoring goals.
Good streak here.
Top of the league scoring goals, and also top of the league not giving up goals. So that's a pretty good combination.
Yeah, real good combination. Well, let's start with first of all, we didn't have a show yesterday because I had a doctor's appointment, but for Monday and Tuesday, my picks are 11-5 so far this week. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I was 11-5 because it was 11-5. I was 8-2 on Monday. Monday's picks were 8-2. Tuesday's picks was 3-3. Didn't have a real great day on Tuesday. Hopefully we can rebound a little bit today. But we got what I think could be a decent NFL football game tonight with the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. We actually watched that game some of that game out at the sports book a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Carolina should have won that game. PJ or Walker throws a great pass. DJ Moore makes a great catch to tie the game up. All you got to do is get the extra point, and the game's over. And Moore, and I didn't realize it till I was reading up on it today. There was actually another guy that took his helmet off too.
Really? Okay.
It was DJ Moore and another guy both took their helmet off during that celebration. So
Moore's one that's got all the.
He's the one that got the most flack about it.
Well, he was one that's seen on TV.
Yeah, he got the most flack about it. But yeah, there was another guy that done it too. But and I think DJ Moore had more experience than the other guy. So I think most people just thought he should know better. But it really ended up costing him because it made the extra point a 48-yard kick. Kicker misses it. Game goes in overtime. Kicker misses another field goal. So I mean, the field goal kicker didn't have a great game. And then last week, the Panthers come out and PJ Walker plays terrible. Throws 2 or 3 interceptions in the first half and gets benched.
Yep. Baker.
They bring Baker in. Baker throws 3 touchdown passes, but the interim coach announced that PJ Walker's starting tonight. He's going with Walker. And what's you dogs? What's kind of crazy?
Hey.
What's kind of crazy is that you have Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Hey, Scrappy, that's enough. You know who it is. But you have Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold on the bench, who are both former like top picks in the draft. So you got them two guys, and you got a guy in PJ Walker who was on Indianapolis practice squad for 2-3 years. Then was out of the NFL.
Came from the XFL.
Went to the XFL, played for Houston. Was probably going to be the XFL MVP that year if COVID wouldn't have shut everything down. So I thought it was kind of interesting that he decided to stay with Walker. I'm glad he did because I like Walker. And he's played pretty good. He did have that real bad game, but I'm glad that coach is going to at least give him another shot.
Yep.
Out there. I mean, you never know. Baker might end up coming into the game if Walker's struggling. But Walker did have success against the Falcons last game, so I think that's kind of what probably kind of went the decision to who to start tonight was the way that game against the Falcons went a couple weeks ago. But the Falcons are 2.5-point favorites in this game, minus 144 on the money line. Panthers are plus 122 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 41.5. They went over the 41.5 in that last game. I think it's going to be an interesting game because Mariota has struggled throwing the ball as well. But Falcons are more of a running team, really.
He's been
This year.
I mean, he's been typical Mariota, kind of
Yeah.
inconsistent. He'll have a good game throwing, bad game throwing. He's not really consistent. He's not a horrible quarterback, but he's not far from a top quarterback.
And Mariota was what, like the second pick in the draft, if I remember correctly?
I think so.
And Darnold was what, number 1 or number 2? Baker was number 1. So you got a lot of guys that were drafted as thinking they were going to be top quarterbacks in this game, and two of them aren't playing. So it's going to be interesting. Who do you think's going to win this game tonight? I keep going back and forth. I'm not going to lie. This has been a hard one for me to pick.
Well, I think Atlanta's probably maybe just slightly a little better team, but on my parlay, I took Carolina in the points.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a hard one for me, but I like Carolina at home with the point. Actually, I like the money line at plus 122. I just think there's good value there. They played 2 weeks ago. Carolina had a chance to win the game. This time they're at home instead of on the road. I think Walker will play a better game than what he did last week. I don't expect him to look that bad 2 weeks in a row. So I actually, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a hard pick because we watched some of this game. We saw them go back and forth. But I'm gonna go with Carolina Panthers on the money line. I just think there's good value getting them at plus 122. And I also like the over the 41.5 in this game because I think both teams will be in the 20s. That's the only NFL game we have tonight. We'll go over all the other NFL games on tomorrow's show on Friday, like we always do.
You said that point spread is 41?
Over under, yes, 41.5.
See, what I had it was 44.5.
So it's went down.
Yeah. So now that changes me because I would go over also. I was going to go under the 44.5, but I would go over now.
Then the spread's 2.5. Like I said, I like the Panthers on the money line, and I like the over.
See, that's went down too because it was plus 3.
So that means there's been some money coming in on the Panthers.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give my parlay, which I'm going to change a little bit, but I'm going to go with of course Atlanta and Carolina. I'm going to go Carolina plus the 2.5. I'm going to go over the 41.5 now. And then Marshall, T. Marshall Jr. For Carolina, anytime touchdown, and that's a parlay. That's going to be worth $10 bet would be worth $110 plus 1,001.
Okay, no, I like that. And then the same game parlays are starting to get real popular.
Yeah.
All right, let's move. Let me get my thing here. Let's move over to the NBA real quick, and then we'll talk some college basketball after that. Now there is no college football tonight. Do got a couple games tomorrow, and then a whole slate of games on Saturday. But in the NBA tonight, there's not a whole lot of games. There's just a few games in the NBA. You got the Dallas Mavericks at the Washington Wizards. The Mavericks are 5-point favorites, minus 205 on the money line. The Wizards are plus 172 dogs at home. Over-unders at 209. I like the Mavericks in this game, even though the Mavericks did lose last night. Both these teams played last night. But for the Mavericks, Christian Wood is out, which does affect them some, but they still have Luka. For the Wizards, Bradley Beal is out, and to me, that's a big thing for the Wizards not having Bradley Beal, arguably their best player. And the Wizards are on a 3-game losing streak at home. So I like the Mavericks here at the. It was 4.5. It's actually went up to 5 points. So if you like the Mavericks on the points, I would get it now because it's starting to move up. But I do like the Mavericks at the -5, and I'll favor the over the 209 in this game as well. Next game in NFL, Philadelphia 76ers at the Atlanta Hawks. The Sixers are, or excuse me, the Hawks are 1-point favorites at home, minus 112 on the money line. The Sixers are minus 104 on the money line. Over-unders at 222. So this game is real close to a pick 'em. The Sixers are on a 3-game road win streak. James Harden is still going to be out for the Sixers. The Atlanta Hawks, this is going to be a second game of a back-to-back for them, where the Sixers have had a couple days off. So I like the Six for that reason. I like the Sixers on the money line, because in the NBA, a lot of times when you see these teams play back-to-back, a second game of the back-to-back, they might do some load management on some of their players, or they're quote unquote what people call tired. Which to me, if you're a professional athlete, if you play one day, you should be able to play the next day. You should do the stuff to make sure your body recovers. Look, and the reason I say that, some people are, oh, they're high level athletes. Yeah, they are, but I coach wrestling. I've seen kids wrestle 6 matches in one day, and you're talking about maybe 6 minutes each time, 5 to 6 minute matches, and then go out the next day and wrestle 5 or 6 more. So if athletes can do that, athletes can play back-to-back basketball games. Only sport I don't think that you can really play back-to-back is football. Football is just too. And wrestling's a physical sport, really, to be doing that many matches back-to-back.
I don't think you can boxing.
Yeah, or UFC, boxing or UFC, yeah, stuff like that. But like basketball, back-to-back shouldn't be a real big problem.
The old UFC, they used to do it.
Oh yeah, the old UFC, you fight 2 or 3 times in one night.
Of course, the rules were a little different.
There weren't no rules.
The minutes.
Well, back then there wasn't rounds.
No, that's true.
They fought till somebody got knocked out or tapped out, or the referee stopped it. But
yeah,
dude, guys would fight 2 or 3 times, and there were no weight classes either. I remember watching Gracie, little dude. And all of a sudden, big old Tank Abbott comes out. I remember the first time we saw that, we're like, what the hell?
Well, we've seen Tank Abbott take on that big, I believe he was a Samoan guy, about 6'7", 300 pounds. I said, this ain't fair. And then in the first 10 seconds, Tank Abbott hit him with one punch, and this dude goes into convulsions. And I didn't know what the heck I was watching.
And then we started watching it all the time.
Yeah, we had never watched it before.
Yeah. And I understand why they changed it, because they never got sanctioned, and it's still been illegal in a lot of states.
Yeah,
but I loved it. I loved it the way it was at the beginning. But I know it's not possible for them to keep it like that.
Well, to go to the level that they went to, that's what they had to do. And same thing, for example, WWE. They've had to go PG.
Well, that's why, and that's what a lot of people don't know this. I don't think, but that Gracie owned the UFC, not Royce, the one that was fighting at that time, but his dad. I can't think of his first name off the top of my head right now. But that's one of the reasons he sold UFC, because he didn't want to change. He didn't want to change the rules and stuff. He wanted it to be how it was. So that was one of the reasons he sold it, because he knew it wasn't going to grow with the way his vision was. But he was too stuck on that vision that he wasn't going to change it. So that's why he ended up selling it.
Ultimate Fighting. It's off topic, but real quick, I didn't know this. Remember Pride, the organization Pride?
Yeah, Pride Fighting.
Shane McMahon was going to buy that, and Vince McMahon nixed it. They were going to buy that, and at the last second, Vince McMahon stopped it. So it would have been interesting if Shane McMahon would have got that, and maybe what would have happened with that.
I wonder why Vince nixed it.
I don't know. I didn't hear that part of the story, but I know Shane's a huge UFC guy.
But I like the 76ers in this game over the Hawks because of the rest. In the NBA, that can be a big advantage. The next game is the Charlotte Hornets at the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are 10.5-point favorites, minus 550 on the money line. The Hornets are plus 410 on the money line. Over-under for this game is at 214.5. This is a game here. I'm not going to lie. It was hard for me to pick. The Hornets are on a 4-game losing streak, on a 5-game losing streak, 4-game road losing streak. They lost 4 in a row on the road. But overall, they've lost 5 in a row. And you have Melo Ball and and Hayward out. I think both of them are out because of health and safety protocols. And this is the second game of a back-to-back for the Hornets. The Heat are 2-3 over the last 5 games. I like the Heat in this game. They were off yesterday. The only big injury they really have right now is Oladipo's out, but he comes off the bench most of the time anyway. But I just don't like the 10.5 points. I think the Heat win, but I think 10.5 is just a lot of points. But I also don't like the Hornets plus 10.5 either because with the injuries they have.
Yeah.
I'd be more apt at the under the 214.5 is where I'll lean toward most in this game. Because the Hornets, two of their top scorers are out, and the Heat, they're not a high scoring team anyway. They're more of a defensive team.
Yeah.
So I favor the under the 214.5 is what I favor the most in that game. Like I said, I like the Heat to win the game, but 10.5 points just seems like it's maybe a little too many points for me. Then last game of the night, you have the Portland Trailblazers at the New Orleans Pelicans. Oh, this is even went up. All right. The Pelicans are 9.5 point favorites, minus 390 on the money line. Trailblazers are road dogs at plus 310 on the money line. Over-unders at 222.5. When I was doing some research on this, the Blazers were actually, the spread was actually 6.5. Now it's at 9.5. So the Blazers are on the second game of back-to-back. They're 5-1 on the road, and they beat the Hornets last night. The Pelicans, this is the second game of a back-to-back for the Pelicans as well, and they beat the Bulls last night. Being a back-to-back game, I could see maybe the Pelicans trying to rest Zion a little bit because they're worried about him with injuries. Yeah. I like the way Portland's been playing on the road. They're 5-1 on the road. I like Portland in this game, especially now it's at 9.5 points. I was going to take it at the 6.5 that I saw, but 9.5. Even if the Pelicans win this game, I think it's going to be. I think this is going to be a close game. So I like the Portland Trailblazers at the plus 9.5. Like I said, it started at 6.5, so there must be a lot of money coming. A lot of your big money's coming in on the Pelicans, I would say. Did you have anything for the NBA?
Not the NBA.
I know you don't follow much NBA.
I try to keep up on the Pacers, but
Pacers is I ain't gonna lie. Pacers is the main team I watch, but
they blew a game last night. Oh man.
Oh yeah, they should have won that game. You're up by 18 points you're up by 18 points in the third quarter, and end up losing that game.
They fall in love with the threes too much.
Yeah,
man.
That and some stupid turnovers. In the first half, man, they were destroying them. They scored like 70 points in the first half. Only gave up like 50, 53, 54. It's like, okay, we're playing pretty good defense, and then it just fell apart. Unfortunately, but I'll tell you what, real quick before we move on, I really like the Pacers core they have right now.
Yeah,
and we get Dorte back because he was playing well, but with Dorte and you added him with the two leaders with Maturin and Halliburton.
Yep.
They got a solid core there. Miles Turner's been playing well. He's been playing well. I know it's rumored that we might trade him, but he's actually stepped up the last few games, been playing real well. Yeah. Got a little more physical. That's always been my knock on him. Is stay down low and get a little physical. He want to be out by the 3-point line too much for me, but I like the way he's played the last few games. This rookie that the Pacers got, he's the real deal. I think he has a great shot at getting Rookie of the Year this year. The only thing I hope is, like me and you talked, is if the Pacers will be able to keep him there after his rookie contract's up. Yeah. But he does. For getting him at pick number 5, he's looked real good.
Yes, I agree.
He had 22 or 23 points in the first half last night. Ended up with 30 for the game, and Halliburton had I think 26. I like Halliburton too. He's really starting to grow into a real good, real nice player.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a nice 1-2 punch. We gotta get better defensively. Got to get a little more physical. I don't know. I like the center. I like his presence in there. I still like he'd be a little more of a presence in the middle. But he is blocking shots. Not a bad rebounder, but
he's one of the best shot blockers in the league.
Oh yeah,
and he has been for years,
for a long time. Yeah.
It's just on the offensive side. To me, he wants to stay outside too much.
I don't care if we trade him. I just want to get something good for him. I don't want to be for like a Westbrook or something.
Oh yeah, no, if they trade him and Hield for Westbrook, I'll be
It'd
pissed
be a
because
major mistake.
I didn't mention Hill, but Hill's been playing. He's been playing good for the Pacers
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I don't think the Pacers are going to do that.
I wouldn't get rid of Hill. I like that combination of Hill and Halliburton.
Yeah.
Maturin, Dorte. You got four. That's a four solid players there.
I think they've come to realize nobody's going to trade for Westbrook because now big rumors are about maybe trading Davis.
I think honestly for the Lakers to get back where they want to get, I think they're going to have to trade Davis and LeBron. They don't have no draft no picks anymore because they traded them all. You got rid of all your young players, and even if you say you find a team to take the bait and trade Westbrook, just say for this reason, say the Pacers went ahead and made that trade. Are you telling me that Miles Turner and Buddy Hield going over there to that Lakers team, the way it's constructed, and you just take Russell Westbrook away, that makes that team a contender?
Well, you need
that don't make that team a contender. You need shooters. Hill can shoot the ball pretty good. Turner can shoot, but he's not. I mean, he's a big guy. He's not a guy that's going. So to me, that really don't make them contenders.
What's the Bulls' pretty good player? He's been hurt some.
Levine.
Somebody brought up Davis for Levine. What do you think about that?
I think the Bulls would do it, and I think that would help the Lakers as well because Levine's a shooter. Yeah. But the reason I think the Bulls would do it because they have DeMar DeRozan.
And what's the one dude from Portland?
Lillard.
That was brought up. Maybe Lillard for Davis.
So I don't know if I don't think Lillard wants to leave.
No, I don't think he wants to leave either.
If he wanted to leave Portland, he's had opportunities.
And somebody brought up a Nets Golden State Lakers deal, but who they had going to the Lakers, I didn't see was going to help them. It was the one dude that's the one that punched that dude from Golden State. The Golden State guy that punched the other guy.
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green going to the Lakers. He's not a great scorer.
No, that's the thing. That makes no sense. You need shooters, and you bring a guy over that don't shoot. That is not no. He don't shoot the ball. Don't get me wrong. He's great at what he does. He's a good rebounder, good facilitator.
But Golden State was going to give up a lot, but they was going to get Davis. They would end up with Davis.
So I don't like that for Golden State.
But and the Nets were going to get a lot of young players from Golden State.
So I don't like that for Golden State because they got a lot of good young players. You have a guy in Wiseman that I think is going to be your next big man with Looney. Why bring a Davis in that's hurt all the time? And now LeBron has a growing injury, so we'll see. He from last night. Hi Chardell, we appreciate you joining us. He says, Curry had a hell of a game last night. He dropped 47 points on the Kings last night. But who you got winning between the Chargers and the 49ers at Levi Stadium? I have the 49ers winning.
I don't think the Chargers can stop the 49ers run game.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big problem for them. Chargers they've had two things that really hurt them this season. One, injuries. They've had the injury bug has hit them big time. Keenan Allen's only played like one game. Mike Williams has missed the last couple. And then the other thing that really hurts them is their coach.
And there's a third thing, Chris. For 2 years now, they've had one of the worst defense against the run. And the way to hurt them is if Herbert's not on the field, and like I said, they've got injuries on offense anyway. But if you can't stop the run, you have the ball less because they eat up time. I think.
Well, that's one thing. The injuries have really hurt their defense too. I think their defense because they tried to improve that defense because they went and got Khalil Mack, they got J.C. Jackson. I mean, they tried to improve the defense, but then injuries have kind of really hurt them. But their coach, man, some of his decisions.
San Francisco has been inconsistent this year, but I'd like San Francisco because of the run game against San Diego.
Telling you, some people kind of laughed at me the other day when I said this, but I think San Francisco might be the team that comes out of the NFC, represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
I don't care what the record is at the end of the year. As long as they make the playoffs, they could be a dangerous team in the playoffs if they're healthy.
Everybody's all over the Eagles right now, and I understand they're undefeated, but there's a thing called peaking at the wrong time and peaking at the right time. Yep. Philadelphia might be playing their best football at the wrong time of the season.
Could be.
We've seen that happen to teams. It's happened to the Colts. It's happened to the Colts. We start out 8-9-0, only lose one or two games the whole season, and the playoffs come out and not play well at all. I really like this 49ers team if they get healthy. They're strong defensively. Then they just added another weapon with McCaffrey, and you get Debo Samuel back healthy, George Kittle. I mean, they have a lot of weapons.
They're one of
And,
the teams that's going to be in the running for what's his name, also OBJ.
Oh yeah,
They're one of the teams that's in the running for. I'm not saying they're going to get him, but they are in the running for.
if they had OBJ, to all rep, I still think he's going to Buffalo.
I heard Dallas is making a hard push.
Yeah, I know Dallas is making a hard push. Dallas needs him. They do need him because I'm still not sold that CD's your true number one. But if you get a guy like OBJ, it's going to help free up Gallup as well,
Yep.
and it's going to make it harder to double team Lamb. So I think it'd be a good move by Dallas if they can get him. But it depends on what price. So I heard he's wanting he's wanting a 3 or 4 year deal, and but he's not going to get paid as a top receiver. I don't see no team giving him a contract where he's getting paid as a top receiver. I think it'll be more of a coming off this second knee surgery on that knee. I think it's going to be more of a kind of like a prove it deal. Be incentives, be a lot of incentives in there to get more money. But I don't think he's going to get like a real big contract. At least I wouldn't give him one, not coming off those injuries.
And also attitude-wise, Chris, because, I mean, he's not been anywhere for more than a couple of years where it starts to become a problem. I'm just being honest.
Did you have some hockey?
Yes, I've got a hockey parlay. I got the Edmonton Oilers at the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm going to take the Hurricanes money line. I got the Ottawa Senators at the New Jersey Devils. I'll take the Devils money line. I got the Arizona Coyotes at the New York Islanders. I'll take the Islanders money line. And then I've got the Vegas Golden Knights at Buffalo Sabres. I'm going to take the Golden Knights money line. And that's a 14 parlay that I'm giving out.
Who's the Golden Knights' favorite or best player?
I don't know. Right now,
talent.
Right now, it's everybody's playing good. I mean, and the goalie situations got straightened out last year. They had a lot of games where they would play well.
So that was a problem last year.
Yeah, it was a big problem last year. So I think they've got that straightened out, and they just really. But the thing I worry about, like you said, you could peak too soon or peak at the wrong time. It's really early in the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people better watch out for the 49ers out of the NFC and the Vikings. Vikings are a good team. I know you got to see what they do in prime time. That's always been a knock on Kirk Cousins, which I don't think is completely fair because the whole team has to perform on prime time. It's not just him. Because there's been times where he's played pretty good and lost because the defense couldn't hold up.
Let me ask you this.
It's going to be interesting because I think the Vikings are better now than what they've been over the last few years.
Do you think if that team gets healthy, do you think Tampa Bay could be dangerous in the playoffs?
I think they could if their defense starts playing better. Their defense has to play better, and if they can get going offensively, and who knows, maybe that last drive from last week where they had that game-winning drive.
Like I said,
something like that can spark your offense.
Right
sometimes.
now, with the division they're in, they got a good chance to make the playoffs. Yeah. With the division they're in, so if it comes down to the last 4 games and they get on a roll, they've got a lot of experience on that team.
That's what I'm saying.
They've won a Super Bowl with a lot of players on that team. You've got Tom Brady, who's got a lot of experience and still could have enough left. Maybe is he going to be the guy that's going to carry the team? No, I don't think he's that guy right now. But I think he could still lead the team and play well enough for them to do well. But a lot of it, like I said, a lot of it's going to depend on the defense.
Yeah. College basketball. There's quite a few games tonight, but ain't no like big matchups. You still have the teams playing some of these smaller schools. Couple games I do like. I like Notre Dame minus 18.5 over Radford. I like Kansas minus 24.5 over North Dakota State. Also like Oklahoma State minus 8.5 against Southern Illinois. And I like St. Mary's at the minus 7.5 against Vermont. IU, my favorite team, IU, Indiana Hoosiers, they play tonight, but it's like a 33-point spread.
Who they play?
Bethlehem Cook or something like that.
Yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about.
and they're like 33-point favorites or something. That's just too many points. I gave up 24 to half. I gave up 24 the other day and they covered. But
I think they'll cover.
I think they'll cover too, but 32 and a half, 33 was just a little too much for me. But they do play tonight. I'll probably check it a little bit out. They're ranked 13th in the country, so I know we've had some good recruiting classes coming in, so hopefully it starts to pay off for us. Did you have any college basketball or anything?
I didn't do any college basketball today.
All right. Well, we'll get to the. I'm not going to run through all the college basketball games because there's not a whole lot of big matchups. Most of it's your bigger schools against smaller schools. So I just kind of gave you guys the ones that I like. But there is some other ones. But there's a lot of big spreads. There's like at least 6 or 7 games that are over 30-point spreads. Until you get past Thanksgiving, college basketball is a little harder to do because you don't really get those matchups where teams are more even. You get a lot of these big matchups, and a team can get up. And what scares me, like IU minus 33, is they get up big and then they bring in their subs, and the team comes back a little bit. Don't make don't make the game close, but cut into that lead a little bit because you see that sometimes where teams start resting players, or not even resting players, just pulling players out, trying not to run up the score on a team. But we'll go ahead and get to picks of the day. My picks of the day are NFL. I like the Carolina Panthers at the plus 122 on the money line. I also like the over the 41.5 in that game. In the NBA, I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks -5 on the road against the Wizards. The 76ers money line on the road against the Hawks. And I like the Blazers at the +9 against the Pelicans. I can see the Pelicans winning this game, but I don't think it's going to be it's actually +9.5. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I wouldn't be surprised if the Blazers won because, like I said, they've been playing real well on the road. College basketball, like Notre Dame -18.5, Kansas -24.5, Oklahoma State -8.5, and St. Mary's -7.5. That's all the picks I have for today. Did you want to go over what you have?
Yeah, I had an NHL parlay. I had the Edmonton Oilers at the Carolina Hurricanes money line. I'm taking the Ottawa Senators at the New Jersey Devils. I'm taking Devils money line. Arizona Coyotes at the New York Islanders. I'm taking the Islanders money line. And then I got the Vegas Golden Knights money line at the Buffalo Sabres. And then my NFL parlay, I've got the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. I got the Panthers plus the 2.5. I got the over 41.5. And then the T. Marshall Jr. for Carolina, anytime touchdown, $10 bet is worth $110.
Okay. We appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube, at Gonzo Sports Room, and at the All Sports All Plays Network. Like and follow us on Facebook and Twitch at both networks. Don't forget, we'll be live tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern with pro wrestler Casey Graham Santos is going to join the show. Should be real good. If you missed yesterday's interview with pro wrestler Christian Cash, go check it out. I thought it was a great conversation. You can find out on our YouTube and Facebook pages at Gonzo Sports Room. Next Wednesday we got a big one as we got Naptown Nightmare Jawan Thomas is going to be joining the show. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am too.
I think it's going to be a great conversation. We won't be at no live wrestling events this weekend, but we got like 3 coming up over the next couple of weeks. But we appreciate everybody's support. Please, like I said, please hit that subscribe button. The picks were, 11-5. Yeah, 11-5 going into today. Hopefully have another good day on the picks. I'll go over my best picks one more time before we get out of here. Mavericks -5, 76ers money line, and the Blazers +9 in the NBA. College basketball, Notre Dame -18.5, Kansas -24.5, Oklahoma State -8.5, and St. Mary's -7.5. And NFL Thursday night football tonight, Panthers +122 on the money line, and I also like the over the 41.5 in that game. But we appreciate everybody watching. We will be back tomorrow with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. We'll go over the games for NFL on Sunday. We'll give out our picks for college football on Saturday. And, of course, we'll give out our picks for Friday's games. But I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.